MOIN. Language maintenance. What Spain can teach us. The survival of many of the world's languages is in jeopardy, and all over the world, language death is progressing at a rapid pace. Some people favor the disappearance of languages. Others mourn the accelerating impoverishment of a once rich linguistic and cultural kaleidoscope. Many older people are aware of being the last speakers of their native languages, most of them mourning the disappearance of the heritage that had colored their realities. More and more younger people regret not having been taught the languages of their ancestors, and they try to reclaim, learn, and even revitalize them. Since the end of the 20th century, there has been renewed and growing interest in preserving and celebrating ancestral languages that used to be ignored and wished away. Some such efforts have been more successful than others. At least in my opinion, it seems therefore advisable for the various language communities to compare notes in order to identify some of the factors that lead to success and failure. So let's share our observations and thoughts as a community. You can do your bit by commenting below. You might also like to suggest related topics. Let me get the ball rolling by offering some observations and theories of my own. As one who has been studying linguistic topics for decades and is engaged in Low Saxon, Low German, a heritage language of his own that during his childhood led a shadow existence and whose use was discouraged at that time, I would have never learned it had I not been a language geek already as a child. Below this video, you'll find a link to my video about the languages of Germany. This time, let's go to another European country, Spain. In my opinion, one country worth looking at is Spain, because it has an interesting mixture of language situations. I will, however, not include in this discussion the Spanish-administered territories in North Africa. The Iberian Peninsula has a linguistically diverse and multi-layered past, which led to today's diversity. Being the national language, what we now commonly call Spanish, is in fact the Castilian language. It's still referred to as Castilian in Argentina and some other parts of Latin America. From 1939 to 1975, Spain's Franco regime decreed that in public communication only Castilian be used throughout the country. However, people kept using other languages in private and began to use and celebrate them publicly as soon as the regime ended. Despite some damages done, the former repression seems to have resulted in resentment, resurgence, and revitalization. Especially the Galician, Catalan, and Basque languages have been experiencing impressive comebacks in regional public use. Many Castilian-speaking residents of the respective regions are now learning these languages, and there is some international interest as well.
Salvete omnes, yo soy Néstor Márquez y hoy en Antigua Roma al Día me he venido al Parque Arqueológico de Pompeya. Y es que hoy vamos a tener la espectacular oportunidad de ver dos de las casas más recientemente excavadas en el yacimiento. Quizá ya las conocéis porque las hemos hablado en redes sociales, hemos conocido los detalles y hemos visto algunas de las fotografías, pero hoy, gracias a la colaboración del Parque Arqueológico de Pompeya, tenemos la suerte de poder estar aquí completamente solos para que vosotros y yo podamos ver estas maravillas en primera persona. Así que sin más, vamos a empezar. Vamos a
Basque, Euskera. Most Basques have always had strong leanings toward nationhood, and they take pride in their unique language, a language with no known relatives. Official recognition in Spain has put the language into a far more secure position than the Basque language has in France. A standard dialect and a standard orthography help to strengthen the position of Basque in Spain.
Eta 8 urte ditut, Euskal Herritik nago, nator, eta, bueno, nire herria Getxo deitzen da, Bizkaiko kostaldean. New Yorkera etorri nintzen orain dela 2 urte, hasieran oso zaila da, eta, bueno, lehenengo hilabetea oso zaila izan zen, ez nuen inor ere ez ezagutzen kontinente osoan, ez estatu batuetan, Amerika osoan.
Galician, Gallego. The case of Galician is interesting in that the language is used in Spain but is quite closely related to Portuguese, both of them sharing, among other things, a Celtic substrate. In fact, Galician language contingents tend to be present in international Lusophone, that means Portuguese-speaking international organizations and conventions, while acknowledging closeness to Portuguese and definitely delimitation from Castilian. Most Galicians view their language as independent, and they have fortified its position by means of standardization and by making it a leading medium in education.
En Galicia, na zona interior da provincia de Lugo, teño 24 anos, formo parte da Armada Española, son mariñeiro. Para min o significado de estar de casa é moi complicado, xa que traballando na Armada Española, sendo mariñeiro, pois a verdade é que boto moito de menos a miña casa e a miña terra, aínda que viaxe moito durante todos estes anos que levo sendo mariñeiro.
Catalan, Català. Catalan now has a very strong position. It has a large speaker population in eastern Spain, where it is now official, standardized, and used extensively in the media, government, business, and education, and it has a long literary tradition. Its position may be strong in part because it's the national language of the neighboring country of Andorra. While its position within the autonomous community of Catalonia is fairly strong, there is factionalism in a wider context. Many people in the neighboring autonomous community of Valencia maintain that their language is not Catalan, even though it is on a dialectal continuum with Catalan and differences are minimal. Similarly, some people on the Balearic Islands view their dialects as different from mainland Catalan. Much of this disunity seems to have to do with naming, local pride, and rivalry. For the time being, many people use the complicated label Catalan, Valencian, Balearic, rather than simply Catalan.
Estem aquí per parlar una mica de el que vol dir tenir una identitat i el que vol dir tenir una identitat amb una llengua. Per mi és una cosa una mica complicada perquè, bé, mon pare és americà, als Estats Units, ma mare és argentina, però jo vaig créixer a Mallorca.
Silvestre, vaig néixer al Girós, que és un barri de la ciutat de València, el 15 de juliol de 1988. I bé, ara mateix ens trobem ací a la Wikimania 2019, que s'està celebrant a Estocolm, més concretament a la Universitat d'Estocolm. I jo, entre d'altres coses, soc wikipedista, crec que ja vaig començar ja fa uns quants anyets. Era quan estava estudiant a la Universitat de València, estava estudiant Economia, soc llicenciat en Economia.
I som de Silla de Mallorca, Espanya. Volia fer aquest vídeo perquè puc sentir el meu dialecte una mica, el meu dialecte, que se diu mallorquí, i bé, no sé sobre què xerraré perquè no tinc res preparat, però bé, mentre xer ja vaig traient temes.
Occitan, Aranese, Uccita, Languedoc, Aranese. Occitan, which is also referred to as Provençal and Languedoc, is prominently spoken in southern France, where it enjoys no official status and is widely referred to as patois. A small enclave of Pyrenean Gascon Occitan exists on the Spanish side of the border in the Aran Valley, Val d'Aran, of Catalonia. Although the number of speakers is relatively small, Under the auspices of the Catalonian government, Aranese is the only variety of Occitan that has standardization and official status, which may well provide it with optimal chances of survival.
Soy d'un petit poble de la Val d'Aran que s'hi Tredós, de Casa Servatú. Tajú este aranesa és un signe d'identitat, és algo important. E d'amassó, jo vos parlaria de la meva terra, no?
Other languages of Spain. Other indigenous languages of Spain appear to be in a somewhat less secure position. Aragonese, Aragonese. While most Aragonese people are Castilian speakers, tens of thousands of them still speak Aragonese in the northern part of Spain's autonomous community of Aragon. It is the last remnant of the once influential language of a kingdom. The government of today's Aragon gave minority status to both Aragonese and Catalan. This includes the right to formal education in these languages. But apparently few schools take advantage of the right to use Aragonese as the primary medium of education. How this will play out regarding language survival needs to be seen.
Tengo 26 añadas y soy de Zaragoza, que es a capital d'un chicorrón país que se dice Aragón y que es justo debajo de los Pirineos. Actualmente pertenece al Estado español. Yo charro una lengua que se dice aragonés, que se habla nomás aquí en Aragón, y lo que voy a hacer es explicaros una mica una mica de la suya historia y cómo es la situación real del aragonés ahora mismo.
Astur-Leonese, Astur-Leonese, Astur-Leonese. Astur-Leonese is a collective label for the linguistic groupings Asturian, Leonese, Cantabrian, and Mirandese, spoken in northwestern Spain and northern Portugal. The number of speakers is estimated at over 100,000. While it enjoys some legal protection in some districts, this language still has no official status, which has created some tension. Apparently, the number of speakers is dwindling rapidly, and some consider the language endangered.
Soy falante de asturiano, que es una lengua minorizada en el norte de España. Ahora mismo el asturiano está en una situación en la que no es oficial y somos muchas personas que estamos trabajando para que en un futuro lo sea. Como dije, el asturiano es una lengua que no es oficial, simplemente está reconocido en el artículo 4 de nuestro Estatuto de Autonomía y se reconoce una protección.
Soy José Benito Matos Pascual, vengo de Peñaparda, de la comarca del Rebollal, en Salamanca, y allí tenemos una palra, que es la palra del Rebollal, que es una de las palras leonesas, y pues hemos venido aquí a Salamanca a dar unas charlas alrededor del leonés.
Estou sentado num talho que foi feito quando se tiravam, quando se faziam os carros das vacas, tirava-se assim, dizíamos nós, olha, e olhar de uma roda de carro das vacas.
Extremaduran, Extremeño. The language boundary between Extremaduran, Astur-Leonese, and Fala are somewhat fuzzy. There are over 100,000 speakers of Extremaduran in the autonomous community of Extremadura, though language maintenance is declining and there is no official status, only appreciation as linguistic heritage.
Decir de que vos sentáis todos parte del salud cuando veáis este vídeo en el futuro, ¿no? Estamos en una sala de conferencias de la Universidad de Ámsterdam, que hoy arremata el Congreso Internacional de Lenguas Amenoídas de Europa, y el extremeño pues ha hecho parte de este congreso. Hemos tenido letreros ahí fuera en el pasillo y hemos estado a explicar, a dar a conocer, a que la gente sepa pues nuestro trabajo.
Fala. Fala is a regional language closely related to Galician and Portuguese. It is spoken by a few thousand people in the autonomous community of Extremadura, where it has no more than protected status.
Julia, ayer estuve no médico, me estuve poniendo atención, y sí estuve bien, y después vi a la chata, vi a las otras amigas, me preguntaron cuando había estado, le dije que había ido a regalar a la Begui Payo, Y la otra me dijo, pues vos ganas tenía de decir, pero como no puedo andar.
Portuguese, Português. In Spain, Portuguese is spoken by an estimated 100,000 to 250,000 people, though precise figures are difficult to determine. Traditionally, it's spoken in some areas bordering Portugal. In addition, it's spoken in Spain's immigrant communities from Portugal and other Lusophone countries. However, Portuguese enjoys no official status in Spain.
Aqui nesta província também se fala outra língua, para além do holandês, o frísio, e é uma das razões que eu também decidi escolher este mestrado. E este ano, principalmente, é super interessante estar aqui na província, porque Leeuwarden é a capital europeia da cultura e eles estão a ter imensas iniciativas com línguas, uma delas sendo o Pavilhão das Línguas.
Caló. While previously mentioned languages besides Castilian are confined to certain areas of Spain, Caló is used throughout the country and is therefore a true minority language. Caló is sometimes referred to as Spanish Romani. This is misleading on two counts. Firstly, Caló is used in Portugal as well and consists of other regional subgroups such as Catalan Caló and Galician Caló. Secondly, Caló is not really Romani, but what in Romani linguistics is called para-Romani. Specifically, it is a conglomeration of Spanish-based Creoles with Romani admixtures. Caló does not have official status and is declining in use, its survival thus being threatened.
Hoy vamos a aprender algunas palabras en Caló. Jurar todo. Escuchar bien. Es bueno. La chol es bueno. La chol es el plural y significa buenos. La chi es buena. La chis significa buenas. Eso es plural. La chi, noche. Chive, día. Tasatás, tarde. Humal, campo. Dron, camino. Dron, bruje, camino real. Ley significa río.
By the way, the Mexican-American slang idiom called Caló or Pachuco has nothing to do with Iberian Caló. Another para-Romani language used by a small community in the Basque country is Aranese, a Basque-based Creole with a Calderush Romani admixture. Summary: the territory of Spain consists of a rich tapestry of language communities. Referred to as Spanish, Castilian serves as the national language. With the exceptions of Basque and Aranese, all languages of Spain are derived from Iberian Vulgar Latin. While there is some interest in and maintenance of some regional languages without official status, they may be considered endangered. Languages with full official status in autonomous communities enjoy far stronger support and security, especially where this is coupled with primary use in regional public affairs and education. What, if anything, did you get out of this presentation? What do you think of Spain's language policies? Do you believe that linguistic autonomy in conjunction with political autonomy can pose a threat to national unity? What do you think? What role, if any, is language playing in Catalonia's independence movement? Feel free to leave a comment if you wish to share something with us.